three electric SUVs. The Tata Harrier EV is the slowest with a time of. The XEV 9e is in the middle with a time of. And the Creta EV is the quickest with a time of. So, how did that happen, Shivank?
Well,
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the autoX podcast. And today, Shivank and I are here to discuss a very important question that no one asked. So, I have with me the latest issue of the autoX magazine. Beautiful cars on the cover, beautiful motorcycles. But our cover story revolves around three family electric SUVs, right? The Mahindra XEV 9e, the Tata Harrier EV, and the Hyundai Creta EV. So, what are these three electric SUVs doing on a racetrack, Shivank?
well, you know what they say about a person's character. If you want to assess it, see how they behave when they're angry. And
Right.
that goes for these vehicles as well. If you want to see how well they're engineered and if they're as good as they're cracked up to be, well, you have to push them to their absolute limits at a racetrack.
Right, so that's what we did. We took these three SUVs to the Bhatt International Circuit, and I believe we tested them on the short loop. Would you tell our viewers what
Yes, the short
is?
loop is basically so that BIC is a total of 15 turns. So the short loop starts from turn 5 till turn 15. We don't include the back and the main straight. So this
Right.
is the total distance is around 2.1 kilometers, but this is the more technical section of the racetrack. So that's where you kind of get to see the handling and the dynamic abilities of these vehicles.
Absolutely. I mean, I have the feature open with me, and cutting straight to the chase, three electric SUVs. The Tata Harrier EV is the slowest with a time of 1 minute 14 seconds. The XEV 9e is in the middle with a time of 1 minute 13 seconds, pushing 114. And the Creta EV is the quickest with a time of 1 minute and 12 seconds. So, how did that happen, Shivank?
Well, that tells you the exact story. Numbers actually can lie.
Right.
Because the Creta is the least powerful. It has a 0 to 100 time of 7.9 seconds.
Okay.
I think the XEV is 6.9 seconds and the Safari is 6.3 seconds.
So, there's like significant difference.
Yes.
Wow.
And the Creta is front wheel drive.
Right.
The XEV is rear wheel drive.
Right.
And the Harrier is all wheel drive.
Right.
So, in terms of the mechanicals, if you think about it, the Creta is the least, I'd say, impressive. It also has a torsion beam suspension as opposed to independent multi-link suspension on the other two. So overall, when you look at the entire picture, the Creta is not that impressive. But out on the track, well, it turned out to be the quickest simply because of the execution, because the handling, the electronics, the power delivery, everything, in that car, it just feels perfect. And it is a well-engineered product in that sense. The low center of gravity, the steering, it's quite linear. The electronics are really well-tuned. The traction control, everything, it puts the power down in the cleanest manner, I'd say.
Right.
And also, you're not fighting with the car simply because it is around 700 kilograms lighter compared to the Mahindra XEV.
That's
around
massive.
800 kilograms lighter than your Tata Harrier. So that's the kind of weight difference that you have. So Dhruv set the lap times in all of these cars, right? And you'll see the onboard footage. He's fighting in the Harrier, and in the Creta, it's just like a walk in the park, to be very frank.
It's very clean.
Yeah, it's because the steering is progressive, it's low CG, and it really behaves well on a racetrack. And then the XEV, well, it is a curious case because it is rear wheel drive.
Right.
So, of course, you have that sort of rear wheel drive bias in the car, but the electronics are just too conservative. So, unless and until the steering is pointing dead in the center, the front wheels are pointing straight, it won't release that power.
I mean, it's very ironic. The design that the XEV 9e has and the interior, the power and everything. I mean, it speaks of a car which is like very premium, it's powerful. And then the electronics are conservative. That's what you're trying to say.
I think that because, again, the problem with both the Harrier and the XEV is the fact that there's a lot of power.
Right.
And there's a lot of weight.
Right.
So, as long as you're going in a straight line, well, they'll leave the Creta for dead.
Sure.
But the moment you drive it around a racetrack, the electronics try to rein in all that power. And then, it's a constant fight with the laws of motion, I'd say.
Absolutely, yeah.
And like the Harrier, despite being an all-wheel drive, it's the slowest. So that shows you, and again, you'll see the onboard footage and you'll realize that it's just the mass, the body roll, and yeah, that's what affects these cars.
Or let's say if you want to read all about it, these 3 electric SUVs going out on a racetrack, setting lap records, you can grab the latest copy of the autoX magazine, right? It's on stands and you can read all about it. And it's all about execution and engineering. And that's where the Hyundai Creta shines, right? So till then, take care, drive safe, and we will see you very soon in the next episode of the autoX podcast.